Hello guys, it's me Theo, and I just got back from the barber. Looking good. Maybe not. Today I'm gonna tell you about my first experience with trying to pick up a Korean girl. So this was when all four of us, Ida, Silvia and Joseph, just had gotten to Korea in 2014, and we were basically just spending our days going here and there in Seoul, trying to, get familiar with the hot places in the city. And on this particular day, we had gone to a place called Dongdaemun Plaza, I think, DDP, because we had heard that it was very good for shopping. So we went there to shop, and after, looking around, we went to this cafe that was called Fika. And for those of you who doesn't know, Fika is a Swedish word which basically means, it's a word for a coffee break that is very integrated in Swedish culture. Every day you usually have 2 Fika breaks where you just sit down with your friends or colleagues and you have a little bit of sweet bread or cookies or cinnamon buns or whatever, and a cup of coffee or whatever drink you prefer. So this cafe was called Fika, and we actually later found out that it's a franchise of cafes. So basically at this cafe they served Swedish pastries and cinnamon buns and coffee and all that good jazz, I guess. And now I'm gonna drink some coffee as well. And the whole place is, decorated in a Scandinavian design fashion or whatever. Anyways, we went to this place to grab a cup of coffee and some pastries, and at this cafe there was a very cute girl working that took our orders. So after we had gotten our stuff, we sat down to eat, and basically I told the other guys that I wanted to try to get that girl's number. And it was the first time for me since getting to Korea that I was trying to, ask a girl for her number. So I was very nervous because my Korean was very poor at the time, and just in general I wasn't that experienced with, picking up girls. I guess I'm not very experienced now either, but I was even less experienced back then. So what happened was Joseph, my bro from another hoe, okay, clip that. So Joseph, he taught me this trick where you take a, what's it called? A napkin, and you basically make a little flower out of it. And he told me to write down my number, no, actually not my number, but my KakaoTalk profile ID name, whatever. KakaoTalk is basically the biggest chatting service in Korea. So I actually don't think I had a number at the time, so I just had the KakaoTalk profile. Joseph taught me how to make that flower, and I actually recreated it here today. This is a very big one because it's a big napkin, but you get the point, right? So you basically roll a flower like this, and I wrote my cacao. Oh, that's my coffee machine. So I wrote my KakaoTalk ID on this little leaf here, and I tried to gather, the courage to actually give the flower to the girl. So what actually happened was we were sitting there for maybe 1 or 2 hours, and I was just constantly contemplating if I should go or if I was gonna be a coward and not go. And in the end, we actually went outside of the shop because I decided that I didn't want to do it. So we exited the cafe, and after about 5 meters, I changed my mind. So I turned around and I went back into the cafe with, the flower in my hand. And I asked her colleague, because she wasn't there anymore. I figured that maybe she was, in the back doing the dishes or whatever. So I basically asked her colleague, where did that other girl go? And she told me that she had finished for the day, so she was no longer there, which kind of complicated the whole situation, Even though she wasn't there anymore, I actually asked her colleague to give her the flower the next day. So that's what I did, and we all went home, and then after a couple of days, she actually texted me, but plot twist, she was standing with another man in her profile picture. Basically, she had a boyfriend since before. This guy was, you know, in the military, but they were keeping their relationship going or whatever. Anyhow, I didn't stand a chance. But we actually still became friends, and we chatted a bit and we talked a bit for a while, and everything was good. It was still a good experience for me. By the way, did I tell you that we call her Fika Yota? Because she works at Fika and she's a girl, so Yota, which means girl in Korean. You might think the story ends there, but about maybe a year later, I went to another cafe called Fika, well, the same franchise basically, but this cafe was located in Karusugil in Gangnam, which is basically the other side of town. I actually can't remember why I was in Karusugil. I don't think I was with Ida or Silvia or Joseph. I actually think I was there with another friend. But anyways, we went into this cafe and there she was. It wasn't Fika Yota, but it was her colleague in this cafe. For some reason, she had started working in this other cafe in the other side of town. And it took like 3 seconds for us to connect the dots and realize who she was, and for her to realize who I was. But after a while, we just started laughing so hard because it's kind of a funny situation, right? And then we kind of talked about it, talked about that day 1 year ago. And obviously my Korean was much better at this point. So we had a good conversation in Korean about it, and we were laughing, and she was like, well, it's good to see you again. I'm sorry it didn't turn out well, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that was that story. I never went to Fika again. My pride was hurt. Anyways, guys, let me know if you enjoyed this story, and if you want to hear more Theo makes a fool out of himself stories. I guess we've had a couple of those at this point. And for some reason, they all involve me making a fool out of myself in front of a girl for some reason. Anyways, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Let me know in the comment section everything. Smash that like button. Follow my Instagram. Go to audible.com and patreon.net or whatever. Donate all your money to me. Yay! This week's sponsor is Nike. I like Nike. Nike. Me like you. I'm gonna go now. Bye.
So a couple of the things that you will need to have in order to be a classic beauty in Korea would be tall, skinny, a small face, double eyelids, a high arched nose, and the also controversial being pale. Very pale, as possible. First of all, we're gonna talk about tall. Tall in Korea might not be the same